Hey everyone. So we have here a fresh Laravel installation. We are going to set up a user tasks relationship. So the user has multiple tasks or has many tasks, and each task belongs to a user. And we will TDD everything in this. So let's first head to our terminal. And this is a fresh Laravel installation, as I said. Well, let's go to the with editor. Let's go to the PHP unit.xml file. We will comment these two lines, which are the DB connection and DB database to use SQLite in memory, which makes our test fast and everything. So let's create PHP artisan. This is an alias I'm using. Make model task model, right? With the migration of factory. Cool. Let's create a test. Or let's use actually the Laravel's default test. Okay, feature example test. We will name this user tasks test. Okay, let's rename it right here. Okay, let's create here a function test. Or testing, just to be sure that this is working. Okay, dd, and then working. Okay, working. So user has tasks relationship. Let's go to the tasks model. Let's go to the tasks migration, and let's add a column called column of type string and a title. Before this, where we need the actual relationship. We are going to add the version key, which is the user ID. Okay, cool. We go here in the tasks factory. Let's open this two in the same time. Okay. So what we need here, we need the user and we need a title. Title, user, factory, create, ID. I'm sorry. So this is it. Let's import the app models user. Cool. Now let's create a title using Faker. So this Faker title time. Let's see title. No, that's gender. Title for me, job title. So let's say sentence. A sentence. Okay. Cool. So we have these two fields, right? The user ID and the title. For the user ID, we are going to create a user and persist that user to the database and like pull in the ID of the user and set it for this field, right? Then the title is just going, we will just go to Faker and provide a sentence, which is the title for our task. Cool. Let's go to the user model. Sorry, user. Okay. Here we want to add the relationship method tasks. This has many ask us. Cool. We imported the class. And here has many. Cool. So this means that we did set up everything in the task and the user in a way this relationship must be recognized by Laravel. And we can start creating our first task. So let's create it. Task equal task create factory create. We need to import this. So this is imported up models task. And like so to play around, let's first dump the task user ID. This must be the first user. Now we have a problem. We didn't migrate the database, right? No such table users. Okay. Use refresh database. This trait is responsible for setting up our database correctly for our testing purposes. Cool. We have an ID, and if we go to the title, we will have sentence. Cool. So, how can we test that the user has tasks? What we will do, so this assert instance of. Okay, so the tasks so we will create a user first. Okay, user factory create. This is the long road, but we are going to do this just to learn how this actually works. Okay, so in the user ID, so we are overriding the user ID field when creating this task. Instead of letting our factory take care of like wiping out a user on the fly and just setting up the ID, we are actually going to set up this user's ID as our user ID. So this task will belong to this user. So now we need to make sure that when we go to the user, so let's start with this one. Assert same. Assert same. The task user ID equals the user ID. This is a bit redundant because we know this works, but we are going to gradually work our way through. See, it is working. So this assert instance of the user tasks is instance of has many class. Let's run our test. No, it is not. Essence argument expects to be a string. Oh, sorry. I think we will start with this one. Cool, it is working. So now what we need to do, let's just duplicate this one. So when we go to tasks, Laravel will return a collection instance, right? Collection. Eliminate database Eloquent collection. So it's a collection instance. Let's test. It is working. So now we are certain that this is a eloquent collection, right? What we will do as a last step, just to be 200% certain, probably. So task class, user tasks, random. Cool. We are picking a random task, and that task has to be a instance of the task model. And just to view that, let's dive down. We will see the up model task. So it's a instance of the task model, right? We could just do first or something, but random, just make sure that we are testing randomly. So understanding this fourth thing allow you to understand how the relationship actually works behind the scenes. That when you try to access the tasks as a function or as a method, it will return the has many relationship, and it will if you go and try to get the tasks as a property, then it will return a collection of the tasks that belong to this user, right? And if you pick one of those, though, like each of these are going to be a task model. Now let's test the opposite one, which is belongs to. So let's write our test. Tasks belongs to user relationship. Let's go to the task model. Let's set up the relationship method user. This belongs to user class. Let's import the user. Cool. And here belongs to. So this a search instance of belongs to plus the user, sorry, the task user. It is working. The other one we need to do is to make sure this is the actual user. So when we access the user as property, here it have to be a user instance, right? The user instance. So this is making sure that we have a proper relationship set up between the user and the task. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more videos like this to show you how to write some Laravel code, how to test that code, and things like that.